And we are officially live.
Yes, we are. How are you today, Jackie?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much, Pierre. So happy to have you here with me again today.
As always, I am actually looking forward to today's session. I think this whole project that we started up last week is super interesting to me. Having the landing page look like an e-commerce checkout right off the bat is actually a pretty interesting take, and I'm curious how we build it out from here.
That
Um,
is true.
Yeah, I think we're taking on a really cool approach with this project. So I'm excited to get started.
I think this landing page is kind of breaking the whole idea of what a landing page really need to look like, kind of
Right?
thing.
Yeah.
Because we always think about a landing page being an opt-in box at the top and your call to action at the top. But when it
Right.
comes to e-commerce, I think it's a different story, especially if you're trying to sell a specific product right off the bat at the top.
Right.
So I find this very, very interesting as well, just like
Yeah.
you.
Let me share my screen. We can walk people back. Everyone in the comment section. How's everyone doing today? Thanks for joining us. I'm going to share my screen. We can take a quick stroll back down memory lane here. This is what we started off in our research. We sort of set up these different panels that we found on other websites online, and we want to show you guys how easy it is to get inspiration and apply it on the Builderall platform really easily. So what we're doing here is we're mimicking something like this, where we have sort of an e-commerce panel up top, and then as you scroll down, you get this health and benefits sort of panel with the image in the center, and then all of the features and benefits here to the side. And then as we scroll down, you have some more features or benefits rather. And then we have a video. We'll see what we'll do about video. Maybe we'll use AI, maybe not. We'll figure that out as we go. But I think for today, I think we're ready to move on from the panel. And as a recap, Jackie, can we share your screen and show people where we are? We created this fake company that we're calling Bean Bean. We had AI create these really cool images. We started lining things up and setting up this single page e-commerce store. So I'm excited to create the next panel and sort of move on from here. Jackie, I feel like I've already spoken too much for me today, so I'm going to pass it back to you.
No. It's going to be quick. There's just one thing I wanted to say to everyone. When you create your pages, do yourself a favor, go check out our previous session, because we talk about color schemes and that kind of thing, and why you need to stick with the color schemes that you currently have. So do yourself a favor, and you will see exactly in the previous sessions how we get to all these different colors and why they actually work with each other. There's a very cool tool that you can use with Canva that will actually take your image and generate the colors that you need to use on your website. And that is basically what we've done. You can see that we've got this kind of different shades of green and turquoise and beige kind of thing that we consistently use across the page. Now, we're not going to recap what we've done on this section here. What we are going to do is to go to the next panel and think about what the color scheme of the background of this panel is probably going to be. And it's important to remember that when you start going downwards with your website or with your page, not to have one long color scheme going right from the top, because it's not, you need to break up the elements or the contents on your page. And that's very important. Otherwise, your eyes will get tired when it just looks at one set scheme. So I was thinking for this specific page to stick to the color that you see behind here. And if I just go there, I'm just going to copy the color with my color picker. And let me open up and do that so that we can go and add that color. And I'm going to go to the background color scheme right here. And while I'm here in this section, because I forgot, this is something we haven't spoken about previously, is you can set your colors right here from the beginning. So if I click now a plus, you can see it's been added into that area. So let me just go. If I go and grab the next color here, and I'm just going to copy it. We can change it back right now. And I'm going to color, and you can see how it's been added. I can remove the ones that I don't need right there. And then maybe let's just add the other one that we've been using so that we can have consistency over our pages. And you can see all of them as they're now been added into this area. What could be also very interesting is that the color that we've got right here in the bean. Maybe that could be a color that we can use for buttons or things. Maybe change this at a later stage to make this buy button stand out slightly. So if we go and just grab that color scheme there, I'm just going to write it in there like this. And let's see what this button could look like if we are going to go with a different color to make that button stand out a little bit from the rest of it. So now let's go back to the bottom now. We're definitely not going to use that color. You know what? You will just know what you know when you start building sites, that you do not want to make it too bold, because then it's going to miss the point of what's going to be on the page. So we've got this far. I'm just going to click on save. And like Pia said earlier, we are talking about creating the benefits of the product, right?
Yep.
So we're going to start with, and I'm just going to click on just publish my site here. We are just going to create lorem ipsum at this stage, because the content can actually be created with Magic Text Editor, and we'll see as we go along. We're not going to go over the time today, so we're going to see if there's going to be enough time to actually generate those different kinds of things. So like we normally do, we always have to make sure that we are creating those placeholders. That is the way that I create my things, and it just makes it so much easier. I'm just going to increase the height of this panel so that I've got something to work with, which is an open area. And then we're going to plan. Like we said previously, we always use inspiration from the internet. I've got two screens open. So I've got on my one screen, I've got the image that I want to put and the text that just give me a general idea. So the very first thing we're going to do is to go and create some boxes, or grab some boxes that we can add. So that's going to be box.
Jackie, sorry, could you bring that up on the screen and show our viewers a little bit, again, what we're going to be building, that specific panel? So
yes,
for everyone, this panel here where it says health benefits, that's what we're going to be creating next. We have this circular image in the middle, and then we have 3 points on either side that basically share more about the benefits of the product. And I'll take a second here and I'll make a distinction. Never talk about features. People don't care about features. All right. Mm-hmm. Unless you get down to like a technical field where you're talking to like an engineer and they really care about, how many gigawatts your widget emits. It doesn't matter. What you want to focus on is what the product can do for your customer. Okay. So if you notice here, they're not talking about, this is a mushroom related panel and health benefits of mushrooms. So they're talking about kicking up your metabolism, boosting your immune system, giving you, antioxidants. Those are benefits. Okay. They're not features. Okay. So you don't want to say, packed full of, this nutrient or that mineral. You want to say, this will support your health in this way. All right. So I just want people to really consider that next time you go to write copy. Never talk about features, always talk about benefits to your customer.
Awesome. Great. So I'm just going to move that out of my way and make sure that you guys can see my screen still. All right. So the very first thing is we've got a block there. We're going to duplicate this block quite a few times as we go along. We're going to go to our elements because we need to have text. Now, because this is not the head title of the website, we're just going to go with the title H2. And then we are also going to add some subtitles to it. And in this case, we can go with the text, but in this case, I'm just going to go with that one. And I'm just putting it blindly on the page now so that we can get an idea of what we are going to do. All right. So we're going to go back again And let's have an image. We are going to need to have an image. And I'm going to grab the image right here. We're just going to drop it onto the page. And then we're going to start doing some funky things to it. I've got an image that I've already downloaded from last week's AI that Pierre used. I don't know if you guys can recall, he actually used a very specific instruction for AI to generate a few images for us.
Yeah.
So
and I'm going to share that in the chat box here. And I see Clarabelle came through the chat. Clarabelle, good morning. How are you today? This is the prompt. I'm going to leave it in the comment section so you guys can copy it for yourselves. The reason why this prompt is really effective is that you're telling AI to become an avatar, become a photographer, become an expert or a subject matter expert in a specific thing. If you do that before you give it the prompt, that usually helps AI give you a really cool response. So really accurate.
All right. So we can upload it inside of the builder, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to do two things today. We're going to use it in the builder. You can do it like this, and you would be able to manipulate this image by playing around with the borders here. I mean, you can see if I type this, you can change completely the size and the things and the backgrounds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it into Canva today. I think we've got enough time to do that. And the reason for that is because I want to change this background. I don't want it to be this type of color.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to go to Canva and upload that image into Canva. And it's that one right there. And we're going to edit this image. All right. And let me just put it in a design. It's better. All right, so we're going to remove the background from this image. All right. And we're going to decide upon a background that we want to use inside of the builder. So let me just go back here. So we could probably use this one right here, and we'll see what it looks like. Or even, we can even go that far to make it even lighter because of the page. But let's test and play around with the color schemes here. All right, so we can do it like that. Now, because we want to do a circle, I'm just going to go for frames. And I'm just going to grab a frame circle here. Now this image, because it's on this background, I'm going to download that image. It seems like we're doing some Canva training as well.
Yeah.
But that's fine. And then we'll upload the image again.
I think everyone at some point either has used Canva or eventually will. It's really straightforward. It has a free tier, and it plays really nicely with sharing tools, sharing different images. So I think it just makes sense a lot of the times. I know Adobe is a better product. I think any designer will agree with that. But sometimes for what we're using and what we want it to do, I think Canva works just fine.
Okay, so now I'm going to just change this image. Now, what we're doing is I'm uploading these things and we're doing these different things. And then later on, we can always change it. We just want to get the whole idea into place. And then we can always modify it and change it and adjust it, because that is the best way to go. You need to create placeholders that that's going to work for you. So we just got it like that for now. We know, can it see it's a little bit skewed there. We can move it up later, but that's fine. And what I like to do is actually to keep this into a box, because right through the website, we're going to keep using the same format.
Right. So for users who are maybe not familiar with this, typically website builders use columns and rows to organize the website. That's super restrictive. It doesn't give you a lot of designer-friendly interface. Because Builderall lets you move elements around as you please with your mouse, you want to use boxes to sort of keep everything organized and kind of grouped together. Otherwise, you just end up in a situation where you have different elements on your page going all over the place, and if you want to move an item, then you're suddenly dragging your title and your subtitle, all at once. It might become too cumbersome. So placing everything in boxes and making that into a habit is super beneficial.
And I'm now grabbing some colors here that we are using to make it consistent across the site. Let me know, Pierre, if it doesn't work for you. Oops, I'm just playing around.
That works.
And then we can say,
maybe we can take a look at what the title with that alternative font looks like. I know we used it in the previous panel. Could you create a duplicate of that where it says health benefits? You create a duplicate, and yeah, exactly that. Let's just take a look at what that looks like here. And we can work on the copy later. I don't know if we wanted to say health benefits, but I actually don't mind that. I think it sort of highlights the fact that this is a new area on the page.
Yeah. I'll increase it just now. I can't remember what it was called now. Let me just check what it was called there. Curve bold. Is it curve bold? Okay, let's see the sizing.
All right.
Right, we'll come back with the discussion about the right words. And now we're going to add quickly, like I said, we're just busy with the space holders again to get some idea of what we're going to use. Now the same applies here. We need to make sure that we add some text. There's some text to it, like a heading for it. And then we need to go and add more text. I'm just going to remove most of this so that we can have something to work with.
And then we also had that image on the side. I don't know how you want to treat that, the button with the number in the middle.
Yeah.
Do we want it to be an image, or do we want it to be a shape with a number in the middle? How do you want to tackle that?
Yeah, I think if we think about the mobile part of it, I mean, I'm now trying to figure out what it's going to look like on mobile. Obviously, we can hide the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But I think if we've got a number as an icon, it will probably work better.
Okay.
But we can test it out.
Yeah. Let's find out.
So let's just make it long enough.
And I know we're using the H6 for that title area. Could you change that to an H5 and see what that looks like?
Yes. It's better.
Yeah, I prefer it.
It's better to have it as the heading 5.
Yeah, I think so. Cool.
Okay. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to do it slightly different. Because that is what our template looks like. And then we need to go and make sure that we add our little icon. Now, I was just thinking now if, let's see if we can duplicate this and play around with the icon first. So the icon, number 1, I think there is icons for number 1. There is an icon, so we're going to make it a solid, and we'll change the color later on.
Okay, love it. Yeah, that's exactly what we're after.
All right. I'm going to make it just like probably there. All right, then we're going to start duplicating this because we want to have it in. How many benefits do we want to showcase?
We can do 6. Yeah, we can do 6.
All right. So what I'm going to do again is, it's always method in the madness when we do these things.
I trust it.
Go back. Just going to change this to white. Otherwise, we're not going to see it in the, oops. Then what we can do is we can space it out, obviously, according to that. But I'm just going to duplicate this so that we've got our 6 boxes. You can always move that around. So for the background, we're now making it transparent. We'll make that one transparent. Nice. Right, now we can probably separate it a little bit further from each other.
Well, what I like, we can do a couple of things here. I think.
Oh, yeah, I've got another idea. Yes.
Yeah, I think you just read my mind. To like have it sort of contour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and you see, guys, this is exactly what we're saying. I just placed it inside of a box to make it easier to manipulate. And then you change your mind, and then you do other things, which is, it's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine in doing it that way.
There are no, what is it? What was Bob Ross's thing? There are no Although I don't give off Bob Ross energy at all. We'll go with it for now.
All right, so what we're doing now is just aligning it. We can use the liner at the top as well, but at this stage, I'm just trying to get an idea of where it will be placed. Then obviously this title is going to change. It needs to go that way.
Right.
That needs to go that way. We'll do that one just now. Go that way.
And again, we can also always turn it over, delete, do one, and then delete the two duplicates, and then just duplicate the one we want. We can do it however we're comfortable.
Yeah. And I'm just doing this now to showcase this that you don't have to use your mouse to move items. If you feel like using your keyboard, you can do the same, like just what I've done now, just to move it up slightly. You don't have to use that way. There's actually multiple ways of moving things around. It's not just this one way. I'm just doing it now just for us to get things in place. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to remove this background colors of these boxes. Let me just close the box here and do it on the side, so it's just going to be so much easier for everyone to see. So like I said, the power of habits. If you start doing something that way, it's very difficult to undo it. Let me just click save. You can see already things are getting into the groove. What I don't like so far is I think that the health benefits here at the top is way too small at this stage. All right, so now let's go. We can come back to that. I think the titles, we can also change the color of the titles to be the same color as what we've got right there. Now, you might be asking, Jackie, why are you copying the color there? Why don't you just use it because you've got that preset color? With the text, it's different. Unfortunately, because you're working in the text editor, here you're going to have to manually change it. That's why it actually would be very cool if you could do the changes in one block and you don't have to go and apply to every single one like I'm doing right now. If you created one box, you could have just duplicated it. Sorry. But even the best of us tend to create extra work for ourselves.
Yeah. There's almost always a more efficient way to do things. I've learned it because I typically don't do the most efficient thing.
Again, it's the power of just, I don't know. For me, it doesn't really bother me to do it this way, but it's like you say, it's not the efficient way. But other people need to see we are doing the same mistakes. So I was thinking about the color of these buttons. Here. Are we going to go with the same color as the bean that we've got?
Maybe we try the blue. What does that blue bean look like?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm getting a sense that this website could used to be a little bit more fun, right? We have a really cute logo. We have a really nice, fun font that we're using for the H1 block. I don't want it to sort of turn into a not fun website as you scroll down, because I feel like it goes alongside the product, right? You think beanbags, no one thinks serious law office. You know what I mean? You go into a law firm and there's a beanbag, right? No one takes that seriously. But it's, it is reasonable to say, like a college dorm room. You say like, I don't know, like ad agency, something fun, a little bit more exciting. Having a beanbag kind of fits that type of brand. So I want to say, let's try to also make this panel a little bit more fun.
Okay.
right? So we can think about ways to do that once we're done here. But the color selection, I think, is also really important. Is the blue working for you? I don't know if it's working for me. I'm not really sure for that size.
Yeah. Well, let's try another color too. Let's try multiple colors. We
Yeah,
just change
maybe we'll
this
do like a
block.
side by side of the. So the logo has this dual color. Maybe we can try there, or we can try a tertiary color.
Okay. So if you guys wonder how do I change this color, I double click on this icon to be able to change to apply it to that specific one. That doesn't look too bad, but then we need to change the title also. Don't you think?
Sorry, I was somewhere else. Can you can you say that again?
I said the orange, that color doesn't look too bad, but then we need to have the title the same color.
Can we look and see what that looks like? Only the icon being a different color.
Okay.
So that title's supposed to be green, not
Yeah. No, you're right. Just grab the color again. Okay, there we go. I wonder let's see if we can make it just a little bit more bold, if it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, it's definitely missing like more weight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
definitely. So we're going to go with the orange for now
Yeah, I think the orange works.
to see what it looks like, at least if all of it has been applied. Oops. I actually got another idea here as well. What I was not thinking, oh, that's not going to work. Let me just finish this one quickly. That one did not change. And when you change these colors for these buttons, when you double click, make sure it creates a blue block around it. Otherwise, it doesn't apply the change to the block. All right, it's starting to look better. I'm just going to save because I'm going to move things down. I do think that our title needs to increase. This title is definitely too small. It's like it's disappearing in the page. And then we're going to enlarge the image in the middle as well. So let me just do this quickly. So just bear with me for a second. Just want to do that. I just want to move these things into this block for a moment. Oops, I don't want it to do that. Hold on. Okay, wait. There we go. And we'll fix that just now in a moment. I just want to get it out of the way. I wanted to highlight it in white so that we can just see where it is, but it's fine. Let's just leave it like that. So let's enlarge this now. We've got our frame.
Mm-hmm.
The importance now is to enlarge the product. And then let's put it in the center. We need to make sure that we have got the right size here. Is this what we are looking for? Do we want it bigger?
I'm okay with the size. I'm okay with the
Okay.
size being where it is. Yeah.
Just want to stretch it so that we can keep it in the center. All right, so we've got our block. Make sure that is in the center. And then we can start adding it in where we want it. Maybe there. Okay. So now we can delete that one. And save, because save is our friend. It's already starting to look great.
Yeah.
So we can use our ruler to,
Line it
sorry,
up.
here.
No, well, I was gonna just start looking at these comments here. I think we have a lot of great ideas, but you were mentioning the ruler.
Yeah, we can use the ruler to align them. So let's start with this one first to line that one. And like that one. I think we can line it a little bit more. And then we need another one. Another one.
And for those of you who don't know, but adding a ruler will create a situation where your blocks snap onto it, so you can have it sort of really be a really good guide, and it makes things easier to line up. So you don't have to, make sure to line it up to the grid itself. It'll, the item itself will find the ruler itself. So makes it really easy.
So what I'm trying to do here now is when you do design, I was now thinking about this is actually the best way to do this, is to make sure that where the circle ends, that is where the line goes, maybe slightly over that, and cut this image in quarters so that it makes sense. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. Just to create a sense of order around it so that it makes more sense where you are placing it. Like this one doesn't need to be there. I could have it actually a little bit further down. But you can play around with your rulers, or you can do what I'm doing, which is free fall.
Freehanding it, yeah. Hey, sometimes
I love to do it freehand and not even have it exactly the same on either sides. I think this is where it comes to preference on how where you want it.
So Clarabelle in the comments thinks that the panel background being white would look better. I feel like it's an easy test. Could we take a
Yes,
look
that
and
is.
see what that looks like?
Okay, I will do that right now. I'm still not happy with
With the alignment.
the alignment 100%. Okay, let me just do that. You are right. I think she's right.
I think so too.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think we should keep it as white. You know, I was thinking, you know how in the a couple projects ago with the preschool image, or
Yeah.
yeah, the preschool website, the images had like a circle, like a drawn-on circle around it.
Yes.
What do you think we add something like a
Let's do
drawn-on
something like, yeah,
around?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that one that we are busy with. I'm just going to do this.
Actually, so the second row, can you scroll right back up? The very top, second row, middle. What does that look like? Yeah. So maybe picking one of those cool colors and yeah. Yeah, and then maybe like an orange. Maybe the orange here could be a good. What do you think for color?
Let's try that.
I don't love it. I don't love it. Could you actually have that be in the foreground? See what that looks like.
Yes.
It covers the. Yeah, maybe if it was blue, maybe that'll look better. The orange isn't really working.
Or we can change the color of the beanbag to black.
I think my problem is with that background and the color. You know what I mean? Like the blue on the gray, and it's less about.
Or we can remove the color of the gray to something else.
Could we do that?
To what
Yeah,
color
maybe.
we want. Or
Maybe
take it out the color, make it totally white background with a circle.
So you created that circle, right, in the background, the gray
Yes.
circle. Could you
Okay.
just duplicate the panel as it is, and we can try out some different colors?
Yes, hold on. I just want to go back to what it was. So what color are we going to go with?
Could we try the blue?
The blue of the
Yeah.
logo.
Yes. Well, the blue that this top like teal looking color in the background, panel.
This one.
Yeah.
That actually fits better.
Yeah. And now, what does that look like with the if we had that circle be the color of the brighter blue in the logo. Does that make sense?
Yeah, let's just grab the color of the blue in the logo.
Yeah, right there. Let's see what that looks like. This is why all the designers on the team love to work with me. I'm joking, of course. It's because I have them do things like this. What do we think in the comment section? What do we think? I also don't love this. I think the blue isn't, the contrast isn't really there, right? So maybe if it was either white, I mean, black kind of works. Clarabelle says no. Just no. Full stop. I agree. It doesn't work either. Could you try having that circle?
What if this is just white?
I don't know.
Just white with a circle, like for an example. Let me just duplicate this quickly. Take this background away and make that. Make this other thing, that thing.
Okay. Okay. I don't mind it.
It's still not.
Yeah, it's not great, but I don't mind it. Oh, I see what you're doing. Like a nice little touch here in the background.
What's those crazy little items? What, you get those little dots? Yeah, not that one. It's like this one, kind of.
Okay, let's see it on the site. But I think that orange needs to change, right? And that yellow needs to be maybe the orange on the site, right?
Oh, come on. And
just the lighter, just the lighter yellow. I think replacing that with the orange on the site that you used for the buttons, I think that works.
What color did you say? Yeah,
orange.
Orange. The yellow must be orange too.
Is that the same orange on the button?
No, I'm going to grab the button now.
All right.
That's definitely not it.
Okay. Yeah, let's run with that. Let's run with that.
Okay, let's see what that's going to look like. Because it's almost time.
Yeah.
Let's replace this quickly. Come on. Yeah, it looks 100 times better.
Yeah, well, look at that. I'm actually really happy that we spent the time today on this. You know, I think although it might have been, slow for some users, but I think seeing the process happen in real time. I mean, look where we were in the beginning of the process, and I think this panel looks so much better because we took a little bit more time and we made the changes that we want to.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think maybe losing. So this one, I think if you delete this, the box that you're currently moving around, number 5, and then number 6 can go in the middle and underneath. So underneath and in the middle, and that can be something that we can turn into a CTA or a button of sorts. And I think using 4 features is probably better for this, just because it highlights the screen or the beanbag itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. So let's see what that looks like on the overall. And remember, guys, this is a live Q&A. Any questions that you may have, just drop them in the comments. It's more than welcome, and we will take your questions right on this session.
Right, so there is our stop.
Yeah, I kind of think this looks nicer than the top panel.
No ways. I love the stop panel. I love the stop panel.
You know, maybe it's the gray. Could you change that?
Make the gray white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it says like beanbag.
This background.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey. Hey. That's my mouse for you.
Yeah. Well, everyone can relate, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think the white works.
Yeah, this also. And that's what happens.
There you go. It's growing. The design is growing. It's coming into its own. And I'm here for it. So, yeah.
That looks a lot nicer. Definitely. But now I don't like this box either.
Well, we can make that adjustment. Oh, okay. So you're saying you want to go with blue? I think if we go with blue and white text, I think that would be good.
Definitely. Definitely makes a big difference.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Love it. Could you actually, so you see that on the button, we have the cart with that arrow down. I actually dislike that icon. I'd rather keep call to action buttons really simple.
Cool.
Yeah. The only addition I would recommend using on CTAs is maybe something like a satisfaction guaranteed or money back guarantee, something to help the purchase along. But in general, I don't like icons on really important buttons. Yeah. So I think actually we're pretty solid here. Let's see what's next for us for next time. I think we want to tackle the next panel that we have prepared. It's 3 big features and a video underneath, or a box for a video. I don't think we're going to create a box for the video. And then underneath that, we have testimonials. So I think tackling those 3 panels next time would be something that can help us move the website along. And then the only thing that's left would be that footer, which can be, I think, if we walk into next session really prepared, we can finish the whole thing up, right? And
Definitely.
Yeah. I think what is really nice for takeaways from this template that we're creating is, first of all, not to be afraid of experimenting. You know,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
saw the difference
Playing
between
around.
the gray and the white, you know, and the placement, and then not just sending something in just because it looks good enough, right? Adding the little details around the beanbag. Could you go back to that panel? We can show it. I think definitely, yeah, here, I think it definitely added a lot of character. It matched the energy and the vibe of the brand that we're building. And I think that's really valuable.
And I do think if we can have a block like this, maybe at the top, move it down even a little bit further,
We can explore
so
that.
that it's something that's all around it.
Yeah, we can explore it. We can explore it. But yeah, I think this is a solid place to call it for the day, guys. Thank you for your time. Remember, if you don't have a Builderall account, use promo code marketing101. That is also from our recurring 101 workshop. So we're going to be repeating the very same workshop for this month as well. So if you missed last session, you can either go back and watch it or join us live at the end of this month to get your questions answered live. We're going to go through the tools one more time and show you how to build a really effective, really simple funnel. And all of it's going to be right in one place. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Nwanza. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for your time, Jackie. As always, it's always great watching you work, and I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next time, same place. Have an awesome day.
Beautiful.
Bye.
Thank you.